Hello, everybody. Have a nice weekend. Wish you best and well. Today, it will be another exciting episode which I will bring to all my fellow travelers and also the friends around the world. Welcome to Chris Lee Travelogues, the travel channels. Today, let's move on with what we're going to share with you is actually three parks that's situated along the Tarim River. And before I proceed further to these three parks, let's share a bit on the geographical information and also the species of the tree that we are going to introduce to you. Now a quick one, the Xinjiang Province as is shown in the red colors in China, and is actually the largest province in China, occupy about 1/6 of the land mass. And as far as concerned that this Tarim River was actually located at the region classified as Southern Xinjiang, south of Tianshan mountain range. And if you look at this map, you can see that the Tianshan mountain range are basically cutting across the mountains, right? I mean the Xinjiang province into half. And of course the southern Xinjiang, you can see the word there, Tarim Basin. Okay, let's touch about this Tarim Basin. Now Tarim Basin is the world's largest inland basin and is located between two mountain ranges with Tianshan at the north and the Kunling mountain at the south. In this basin house one of the largest deserts of China, the Tarim deserts, right? And it's the world's number 2 largest deserts besides Sahara deserts. Tarim desert is a moving desert with moving sand dunes. Right? This just to clarify what I mean by moving desert. Now let's look at the next map. You can see now show you a river that actually is starting from the Pamir Plateau and move all the way eastwards. And what is this Tarim River is all about? Now Tarim River is located right at the northern portion of the Tarim Basin in northwestern Xinjiang. It is the longest inland river in China, covering an area of nearly 1.02 million square kilometers and of length about 1,331 kilometers across Xinjiang from west to east. All right. Now, in order to improve the ecological environments of the river as well as preventing the merger of the Taklamakan deserts and the nearby desert known as Kurutak deserts, which both are located between the Tarim basins, right? The China government encouraged and done large-scale plantings and restoration of Populus Euphratica forests along the middle and the lower portion of the Tarim River. And lately, these Populus Euphratica forests have attracted many visitors within China and abroad. The local governments have some of these forests turned into public parks and resorts to cater for the influx of tourists. Right? So this is very important because why they are subplanting the Populus Euphratica tree is a very unique species of tree. So our tour today, of course, will cover 3 areas along this Tarim River. You can see where the mark A, B, and C. A, B, and C refer to the first park I'm going to introduce to you, B the next, and C is the last. So just remember roughly where the location is. After that, then we're going to go straight to this park without referring back to the map again. Okay, let's look at this image. This is the tree that this is the species of tree I'm referring to. It's called Populus Euphratica. Right? Now, Populus Euphratica tree, also known as the Desert Poplar, right, is a species of poplar tree in the willow families. The characteristic of this species of tree is that it can survive in a very extremely dry and cold regions. When you say it's extremely dry, it indirectly means in desert zone. Right? It happened to be in Xinjiang, northern Xinjiang. It's actually is the area whereby have quite a severe winter. In fact, the visit to this Xinjiang after November is no longer recommended. It's an off-peak season to even to the mainland China. Now, more than 60% of these Populus Euphratica forests in the world are located in China, and 90% of them are located in this Xinjiang Province, and mostly along this Tarim River. In fact, it's at here you can find most of the forests that can found in the whole world. Now, some of the most well-preserved forest park, right, has found in Yuli County, such as the Tarim Populus Euphratica National Forest Park, which is not only the oldest but also the largest and the most complete reserve in China. Alright, so this is about the species of the tree as what you see from the image now shown to you. Okay, now move on the first park. Now, I'm going to share with you the three parks, which both of them are in different conditions. One of the park is basically a wild park. It's just a natural wild park. Then the other park is actually a forest, which actually converted in a park. But of course, they have some man-made structure inside, but still have preserved some of the natural scene of the park, of the forest. The third one strictly is a park or a resort, a beautiful built-up resort with planted a lot of Populus Euphratica tree. So it's three different parks that actually I'm going to share with you today. So the first one we call it the Tarim Populus Euphratica Forest Park. Now this indeed is quite a wild park. Now this Populus Euphratica Forest Park is located south of Lun Tai and Lun Tai County at the intersection of S165 country roads. And the Tarim River is not far from the Nunnanzhen. It's actually a small village. It is a natural forest park which is sited on the lower stretch of the middle section of the Tarim River, where more than half of the China Populus Euphratica forests are located, particularly densely located along the Tarim River. Now, this park provides a short train ride to the inner regions of the park for a closer encounter with the wild poplar tree. Visitors can also opt for boat ride. Boat ride is free of charge. Okay, let's move on with the image. So this is basically the entrance to this park, the wild forest park. But in China, anything that attract visitors, they will start building up, fence it up, and start collecting entrance fee. It's unavoidable. But of course, they do collect the entrance fee to help to maintain the park, which also in one way is good, and providing facility like toilets for the visitor, and also the F&B outlets, with something that most needed for most visitors. So this is at the entrance, after enter from the main entrance, and after we are waiting for our train ride. This is one big plaza or a square, right? And this is actually the train station, and very small train station. In fact, a lot of visitors are queuing up, waiting for their turn to take this short train rides right into the inner part of this forest. And while waiting for the train ride, of course, we also stroll around, walking around near the park where we try to. In fact, this is actually where the Tarim River. What you see, this waterfront actually is the Tarim River. So this is some of the view of the trees, Populus Euphratica trees. They didn't do much. These all are natural grown tree. It's a forest and wild forest. So you can see the trees are very much disorganized and of all form and shape and age as well. It's believed that these trees, as I said earlier, can able to withstand very extreme cold temperature and dry climates. And it's the most suited to plant because China government are trying to stop the forestations, sort of the desertations. That means the land turn into deserts. So one way to prevent it is to planting tree, and most of tree, other species tree can't survive under these extreme temperatures and also the climates and dry condition, except this species of tree, and therefore this is where the government have actually planted so many such trees over here along the Tarim River, but it's the tree still need the water source to grow for survival. So this is just some of the scene of this wild forest in this Populus Euphratica Forest Park. And this is exactly the train ride, the train track that we took. It's a short train ride. You can see the dry branches of the tree was scattered along the shore of this river bank. In fact, we stay till the not the late evening, but probably about 3 or 4 p.m. Local time, and we managed to get some quite good, nice scene of the setting sun or evening sun. Our visit is during the autumn. You can see that most of the trees have turned into goldish color. The leaves are all completely turned to goldish color. And I believe that if you are coming here a bit late, isn't by November or December, I think you literally will see all these leafless tree. So this is the right timing to visit actually the Octobers of the years to visit this part of the park. And therefore, during the month of September and October, these 2 months, is considered as high peak season for these regions. So this is what the boat ride they do provide. If you want to take the train ride, or you want to take a train ride, then after that continue with the boat ride, it's up to you. Okay, then we move on to another beautiful park. We call Populus Euphratica Tree Park. Now this park that they are fronted with lakes, and also next to the Tarim River as well. As I mentioned, most of these parks are all scattered along the Tarim River. Now this Populus Euphratica Forest Park is located south of Kuga city, not far from the Sanya town of Saya County, and not far from the Guizi Kuming village town, a small village town again. This region is considered the upper section of the lower stretch of the Tarim River. And the local like to refer this park as a Sunshine Island in Saya. Yeah. And why you call it Sunshine Islands? Because you can, when you visit the park itself, you can find a lot of tiny islands that fall in between the lakes or in the Tarim River. The main attraction of this natural forest park is that it has pond between the park vicinity. During the windless days, the reflection of the lake produces stunning images of poplar tree as the key subject or backdrop, as you can see from the image now I'm showing you. So let's move on with the scenery of this park. Again, you have to enter through a ticketing gate where you have to pay entrance fees. And this is a drive into the park. We are driving toward the pond area. Part of the park are still full of wild tree. Of course, it's a Populus Euphratica tree. Frankly speaking, I found that the tree here is much more beautiful compared with the park that we have visited earlier on. So you can compare the size of the tree versus the people that stood and found in my image. So these are all very old trees. All these trees probably more than 100 years old. And they can survive these extreme climates in this part of these regions. So you can see that we are literally just walking between the forest park, and it's all up to you to look for the best tree to shoot, right? And also near to the pond area, they even have some activity offered to the visitor. Like in this case, right here we come close to the pond area. Of course, you still see some of trees are still in leaves are still in green colors, yet to turn into the goldish color. Because it's not all the trees turn into goldish color at the same time. There seem to be certain batches, certain area that turn golden color sooner than the others. So these are some boat ride can be provided to the visitor. Even at the late afternoon, it's more windless here. You can see quite good reflections of the trees from the river water surface. So if you like posting, this is a good spot for you to post yourself. But bring along a teddy lamp, because you need a teddy lamp to take close image, probably 200 mm and above. And this is close to the evening when we assemble back at this pool area for a return to our hotel for a night stay. So I like this image, give you a very calm feeling. So you can see some activities still carry on in the late afternoon. I like this image, the silhouette. This is really time to go. And on the way back to our hotel, and we can find these herds of sheep was just nearby. They still practice nomadic lifestyle by the local. Okay, now we go to our last park. It's actually a resort, alright, and the name of this resort is called Red Lake Bay Resort and Park. Right, and this is actually a completely built up of forest park. Now, a Populus Euphratica tree park and calm forest located along S13 country roads in Xinjiang, right? Southern Xinjiang. Not far from the Bachu town and Xiachaizi Reservoir, which is midway between Kashgar and Aksu city. The resort provides, right, shuttling buses, ferry visitor, right, or resort guests to the center of the resort where the resort restaurant is located. We are having our lunch here. So actually the first thing when we reach, we will then ferry or transport to this restaurant waiting for lunch. It's after the lunch we get a tour of this resort. We do not stay in this resort. It is located at the middle section of a Tarim River, and this park built around 3 small lakes next to Tarim River with abundance of proper tree strategically planted across the lake with well-planned hard landscapes, such as wooden path, bridges, and viewing platform for the visitor to enjoy the beautiful scenery around the park. There are benches placed along the wooden path for the comfort of the visitor to take a rest while strolling the park. Right. So let's have a visit again to this of the tree itself. Is actually a resort park. You see the entrance also is much more grander than the other two. And they have a lot of sculptures inside this park or resort. Lookout towers, wooden lookout towers was built, but it's closed for visitor. And this is one of the bridges we cross in this resort park. You can see that there is benches that built along the river, along the bridge. A very scenic park, and our timing also, as I say, that it's the right timing. So you can see, of course, not all the trees have turned into goldish color, but you still can see that at least half of the trees are turning into goldish color, and with some are in the mid are turning from green to yellow. In fact, we need to walk pretty fast here because it's considered quite a large park. If for photographer, because you tend to need time to set your angle right, and sometimes you may stay in a place, a good scenery spot for quite a number of minutes. Water view. Now there are some viewing platform like this. You can take a rest and you can climb up to have a higher view of these lakes or pond. You have a long stretch of these wavy bridges across the lake. So you can see that actually how many pictures you can take, how far can you cover, it depends how fast you walk. That's why if it's possible that you put a night here is the best choice. But I did not check whether this resort accept foreigner guests or not. Because as I mentioned in China that the hotel they classify two category. One that's open to foreigner guests, one that's not, only open to the local, to the Chinese national. And there are some chalet. In fact, that it's very scenic and very nice place to put a night. There is a wooden path they built along the lakes. In fact, this is the park that provides me the most images of the Populus Euphratica park trees, because it's strategically planted and well landscapes. Only thing I noticed that in this park, maybe they are not operating. They didn't provide any boat rides. But by right, if you can have a boat rides in this waterfront, so-called like waterfront, of three lakes that's surrounded by these three, it could be a very interesting ride that for photographers. So you can see that actually it's compared to other two park. This segment have the most images. It's understandable, because the scenery here is much more pleasing and blend with all some of this beautiful hardscape. So they have also some the area that's actually more inland, but actually we didn't have much time to cover more extensively of this park. As I mentioned, we only have about half a day, and therefore after that we have again urgent, because we are not putting a night in these hotels. So you can see that this is some of the more inner part of the park, more inland, instead of near to the pond or the lakes front. Okay, so we have basically covered these three park in three different scenario, and this will end my 6th episode on this southern Xinjiang. And in the coming episodes, I'm going to move on to another nations, and this nation, to many people, that they are, some of them are afraid to visit because of for certain reason, and it's actually an Islamic country, and the nation that I'm going to share with you is Iran. Right, so please stay tuned. The Iran, they have covered. We cover quite a number of city, major city in Iran. But as far as concerned, while preparing the Travelogues, I found that actually it would cover at least 12 episodes. So I decided to break it into half, which form the first sessions to cover 6 of them. Then the other half I will showcase in some other time, so that I can move on to another nation, to bring as many nations as possible into my travelogues within the first 6 months. Right, so please stay tuned and hope to see you again in this coming weeks for a new episode. And the same time, since we are closing to the eve of Chinese New Year, I wish all my Chinese friends or people, friends that are celebrating their lunar break year, lunar New Year. Please, happy New Year, and please stay tuned and stay safe and stay strong. Sorry. All right. So see you again next week at the same time in a next episode. Cover a new nation, Iran. See you again. Bye. Thank you very much.